What if the unthinkable becomes reality? What if the Russia-Ukraine conflict escalates to a point where Western powers feel compelled to intervene militarily? These are the questions that are echoing across the globe today as tensions continue to rise in Eastern Europe. At this juncture, the United States is mulling over the possibility of deploying additional military advisors to Ukraine. The objective? To support logistics, oversee weapons shipments, and assist with weapons maintenance amid Russia's ongoing offensive operations. The exact number of troops to be sent remains unconfirmed, but estimates suggest it could be up to 60. However, this comes with a caveat. Russian President Putin has issued a stark warning against Western intervention in Ukraine. The stakes are high, and any miscalculation could potentially tip the scales towards a broader conflict. In parallel, the US House of Representatives has approved a bill to provide over $60 billion in aid to Ukraine. This is a significant commitment, and it signals the United States' resolve to stand with Ukraine during these challenging times. The Institute for the Study of War predicts that Russia will intensify its attacks on Ukraine due to dry spring conditions and Ukrainian material shortages. The focus is likely to be on areas where Ukrainian defenses are weak or where significant objectives can be achieved. Therefore, the question of military intervention is not just hypothetical anymore. It's a reality we may soon have to confront. This is a complex and rapidly evolving situation, and the international community will have to tread carefully to prevent an escalation into a full-blown war. In the theater of international politics, Putin is a master performer. A maestro of aggressive language and tactics, his performances are as captivating as they are concerning. But what are these tactics exactly? Let's delve a little deeper. Vladimir Putin, Russia's long-standing president, employs a unique blend of bullying language and displays of power. He uses his words as weapons, not just to communicate, but to intimidate. His recent comments on the Minsk agreement serve as a prime example of this. Rather than fostering dialogue and understanding, Putin often turns to confrontational rhetoric to assert his dominance on the world stage. And it's not just his words. His interactions with other leaders, such as French President Macron, are theatrical displays of power, massive tables, aloof demeanors, and icy stares, all part of the Putin show. It's a spectacle that's both fascinating and frightening, a show of force designed to keep others on their toes. But Putin's style isn't unique. It's reminiscent of other autocratic leaders, like former US President Trump. Both share a personalized and authoritarian style of leadership where power is centralized and dissent is often quashed. It's a style that's been effective in keeping them in power, but one that's also been criticized for its disregard for democratic principles. So how do we respond to this? The answer lies in unity and determination. The international community needs to understand and counter Putin's bullying and intimidation strategies. It's not enough to be aware of his tactics. We need to actively confront them and present a united front against any attempts to undermine international norms and stability. Understanding Putin's tactics is the first step in countering them. But what happens when understanding isn't enough? As the world watches this theater of power play out, it's clear that finding the answer to this question is more urgent than ever. Amid the escalating tension, Germany has found itself in a delicate position. Germany, a key player in the European Union, is walking a tightrope as it faces backlash over its reluctance to send Taurus missiles to Ukraine. A leaked recording, revealing sensitive military discussions, has added fuel to the fire. It appears Germany's hesitation stems from a need for its own troops to operate these missiles. Chancellor Olaf Scholz's cautious approach has been heavily criticized, with many arguing that the stakes are too high for such hesitancy. The backlash hasn't just been domestic. Allies like France and the UK have expressed their disappointment, putting a strain on Germany's diplomatic relations. This leak, a potential game-changer in the conflict, has even been seized upon by Russia for propaganda purposes. It's a chess game of international politics, and Germany's move has certainly stirred the board. The situation has also highlighted the stark differences in security approaches between two of Europe's most powerful leaders. French President Macron suggested sending NATO troops to Ukraine, a move that Scholz strongly opposed. It seems that the age-old debate between aggression and diplomacy is playing out on the world stage once again. with Germany and France at opposite ends. Yet it's important to remember that Germany's caution isn't born out of ignorance or apathy. It's a calculated strategy born from a deep understanding of the potential for escalation. The reluctance to send missiles is not a sign of weakness, but a reflection of the sobering reality of war. Germany's cautious approach is being tested like never before. But will it hold up under the mounting pressure? As the conflict continues to escalate, the world watches with bated breath, wondering if Germany will maintain its course or be forced to change its strategy. French President Emmanuel Macron has issued a stern warning, a warning that has reverberated across the global stage. The French president has taken a bold stance on the escalating conflict between Russia and Ukraine. He has unequivocally stated that he will not rule out the possibility of sending troops to Ukraine if Russia breaches the front lines. Macron's statement is not just a declaration of potential military action, but also a wake-up call for his international counterparts. He is making it clear that the situation in Ukraine isn't just a regional issue, but a global concern that requires collective action. Macron's refusal to rule out such a drastic measure is a clear signal to the world that the stakes are high and that complacency is not an option. The French president's words serve as a sobering reminder of the gravity of the situation. His willingness to consider military intervention is a testament to the severity of the conflict and the potential consequences should Russia decide to escalate its offensive. Macron's warning is also a call to arms, a plea for unity among the nations of the world. He's urging his counterparts to wake up to the reality of the situation, to consider the implications of their action or inaction, and to stand together in the face of aggression. But Macron's warning is not just directed at his counterparts, it's a message to Russia as well. A clear signal that France and potentially other nations will not stand by idly if Russia decides to further escalate its aggression. In essence, Macron's statement is a strategic wake-up call, a call for the world to take notice, to understand the gravity of the situation and to prepare for the potential consequences. It's a call for unity, for collective action, and for the willingness to stand up to aggression. Macron's warning is clear, but will the world listen? As the Russia-Ukraine conflict continues to escalate, the world watches with bated breath. The echo of war drums is growing louder, and the potential for further escalation looms ominously on the horizon. With the US considering deploying additional military advisors to Ukraine, a new dynamic could be introduced into the fray. Russia's reaction to this potential move is unpredictable, yet it's certain to have far-reaching consequences. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron's refusal to rule out sending troops to Ukraine if Russia breaks front lines serves as a stark reminder of the gravity of the situation. This strategic wake-up call resonates across borders, underscoring the collective responsibility of the international community in this conflict. On the other hand, Germany's reluctance to escalate the situation, as evidenced by the leaked recording discussing the potential deployment of Taurus missiles to Ukraine, reflects the complexity and divisiveness of this geopolitical quagmire. The future of the Russia-Ukraine conflict remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the stakes are higher than ever.